Hi, I'm Josh Lambert, a product manager here at GitLab. And today I'd like to talk about the improvements that we're making here in the 12.8 release for the database team. The database team is focused on best practices and architectural improvements across the whole GitLab product as it relates to the Postgres database. Now, if you've been following along with our past updates, you might be aware that we've been working to enable partitioning as one of the higher priorities within the team. We are going to be continuing this effort here in 12.8 with a few key improvements or work that we're planning to get done. The first is we are working to switch over from schema.rb to structure.sql. This will allow us to take advantage of the Postgres specific excuse me, functionality and features, as opposed to being restricted to a more common set of functionality like in the past when we supported MySQL. Additionally, we'll also be working to identify the right tenancy model for partitioning going forward. So this is important so we can identify whether we need to make any schema additions or whether which fields we should utilize for this. But this is, again, some important essentially analysis work to get done to make sure we have the right model identified so when we're ready, we can go ahead and just execute um, within the probably around the 13.0 time period. 13.0 is when we're actually going to be requiring PG 11 going forward, which will allow us to, within our code, actually make queries and other essentially code paths that rely upon that new version, and namely can take advantage of things like partitioning. So those two are really some key fundamental changes we're making to prepare the way for partitioning in the future. The next two are optimizations that we're working on to improve the performance of GitLab. The first is we're going to be improving how we do the tiebreaker sort. So essentially, if you are sorting based on a criteria which is not guaranteed to be unique, say, for example, issue weights, we have a tiebreaker. This essentially allows us to have a reliable sort order. Unfortunately, in certain conditions, the tiebreaker and your desired sort order would cause us to miss an index and allow us to essentially compute on the fly to get the right order. And this change will allow us to essentially let the tiebreaker sort direction match the global ordering you've chosen. And this will allow us to continue to hit the indexes and reduce the overall impact and improve performance of these queries. So it's a great improvement. Thanks, Andreas, for identifying that and driving it forward. The next one that we're working on here is a learning that we had from a previous incident where we noticed some increased latency and error rates. What we found was that our application tier was not reconnecting to the database periodically without some other event. And so if you took some nodes out of the pool for whatever reason, for example, the other nodes would get essentially see increased traffic. And when you brought nodes back into the pool after maintenance, for example, they wouldn't really get picked up by the rest of the fleet application tier because we don't actually periodically reestablish the database connections. So we're going to go ahead and do this in 12.8. This will allow us to continue to maintain a healthy balance across the database nodes. And this should allow us to not repeat this particular scenario which caused increased error rates in the future. So it's a great stability improvement based on the learning that we had in the past. The next two that we're working on here are essentially paving the way for further improvements in the future. One is that we're working to actually collect some telemetry that'll help us to make better informed decisions about what to work on next, as well as we'll also be looking at the index improvements in PG12, which we'll be looking to support here. Again, similarly on the 13.0 time period, we'll be making PG11 required, but around the same time period, we're also making PG12 compatible. And so for those who want to take advantage and upgrade earlier, you can do so. And in particular, some features like around the index size improvements, those don't, you don't have to have any sort of application specific PG12 SQL calls. It's just more of a server side functionality. And so you can actually realize those benefits without having to wait for 14.0, which would be when we start to require P2 to 12 going forward. So that's essentially laying some groundwork for further analysis and improvements to come next. And then down below, we're also making some important bug fixes, as you can see here. But I think for now, that's a great summary, and we're really looking forward to these improvements here, in particular, again, driving forward and continuing to uh, prepare ourselves for partitioning, which will have a number of benefits across all of our customers. And we're really excited to be able to work on this and bring these features to you in our 12-day release. Thank you so much, and talk to you next month.